Learn how to create an Azure Functions project with Visual Studio Code in this edition of Azure Tips and Tricks. To start working with Azure Functions inside of Visual Studio Code, we're going to need to make sure that we have the Azure Functions extension installed. So inside of the marketplace, I'm going to type Azure Functions, and I'm going to select the Azure Functions extension. In my instance of Visual Studio Code, I already have the Azure Functions extension installed. So if you don't, make sure you go ahead and hit that install button. After you have that installed, you should see an Azure icon available here inside of your editor. And there should also be a function section here. Inside of this, once you've authenticated, you should see a list of all the various subscriptions you have available. Also notice here on the right side, you have a button that says Create New Project. I'm going to click Create New Project. It's going to ask me where I want to put it. I'll create a folder and I'll call this Functions Demo. I'll hit Create. Select this folder. Now I can select what language I want to use. So there's JavaScript, C# and Java available. I'm going to select C#. Now it's asking, how would I like to open this project? I'm going to select Add to Workspace. If I head back over to my Explorer, I should see my Azure Functions project has been created. Now, the next thing I need to do is actually create a function. If I open the commandlet and I type Azure Functions, I could go down to Create Function. I'll select the folder containing my function app and also the function trigger I'd like to create. This is going to be an HTTP triggered function. I'll just give this a name of Simple API, the namespace, and also the access rights. I'm going to leave this as anonymous for now. And here you see the Azure Functions Visual Studio extension has gone ahead and scaffolded out a functions project. And I can start working with and debugging my Azure function right here inside of Visual Studio Code.